Welcome, everyone, to the L7C podcast, Dragon Ball Edition. Today, we are going to be talking about the newest Dragon Ball manga chapter that just came out a couple of days ago. Also, recapping you guys on what happened at Jump Festa. Basically, an end of 2021 Dragon Ball wrap-up and talking a little bit about what we want in 2022. So we got the Dragon Ball expert with us, Mitchell Oso. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing fantastic. Ready for the holidays. How about yourself?
Same. Got all your Christmas shopping done?
Never. Because there's always something else I want. Joke. Yeah, I got it done for the most part. So, ready to pass out the gifts. So, that's it. Yourself?
Yeah, I got it all done a little bit ago. Just needs to get wrapped up, and then we should be good to go.
All right. Well, got a present here for everyone, and that is Chapter 79, titled Gas and Granolah.
Mm-hmm.
And, the typical rundown, how we do these episodes. We'll give you a little quick synopsis of what happens. We'll dive into some points, and we'll go from there. So, chapter starts off. We're looking at Alec. He's in his ship right now after they had made the wish. And you see off in the distance that Granolah and Gas are fighting, and Alec makes the comment that he's guessing that Gas is now the strongest in the universe. And his little assistant asks if they wish to move closer to the battlefield. And Alec says no, he doesn't want debris falling into his wine. But then also, more importantly, he's got one more urgent errand to handle. So Alec is going to go and do his thing, which we'll find out what that is in the next couple of chapters. And then we are taken back to the battlefield where we see Oil and Mackie about to, they're talking to Monado, and they're questioning where Vegeta went. And Monado says, I don't know. And Oil and Mackie are going to basically beat up Monado for the answers. And then we're shown that Vegeta gives Granolah the Senzu bean, and he becomes 100% healthy, as the beans have always done. Granolah is in shock that he is completely healed. Vegeta tells him to hurry up, don't waste time. Granolah goes straight to serious mode, and he races off, or maybe even teleports, instant transmission, right over to where Oil and Mackie are, and he gets in between them and Monado. Says that old man's off limits, while Mackie and Oil are completely stunned. And Granolah then just force pushes him, blasts him into the hillside of a cliff. And we then see that Gas is beating the hell out of Goku. He has Goku's shirt, collar. He has a spear, and Goku's shirt is hanging on that spear, and Goku's pretty beat up. But the Gas now has his attention on Granolah, and Gas is surprised, and he questions that how was he healed, and then Monado gives Granolah back his eyepiece that he got rid of a few chapters ago. So him and Oatmeal are now, back working together again. And Oatmeal makes a joke that apparently if you're the strongest, you don't need any support. And Granolah says, no, I'll always want you backing me up. And then right from that moment, right whenever he gets his eyepiece on, he powers up. He goes to red eye mode that he's done before. Now Gas is really interested in the power spike of Granolah, and Vegeta shrugs in the moment that's to come, and Gas tosses Goku to the side, and now their battle commences. Starts off with Gas creating two shields over his forearms on both hands, and then they start charging at each other, and Mackie and Oil can't believe that Granolah is back up and running just fine, but Oil says that relax. Gas is the strongest now. He's going to win this for sure. And this chapter is, it's just pure fighting. From this point on, they're going back and forth, and Gas is trying to use his shields kind of as a weapon to, kind of jab at Granolah. He uses them as a shield to block Granolah's attacks, but Granolah seems to keep Gas on his toes. And then he switches over to a staff and tries to stab Granolah with it. Granolah intercepts it, takes it out of his hands, smacks him in the face with it, and then he creates a whole bunch of knives, Gas does, and throws them at Granolah, and Granolah just smacks them away. And then we get a little bit of feedback from Oatmeal. He's informing Granolah that his heart rate is elevated, and he needs to remain calm and focused. Granolah acknowledges it, keeps on attacking, and then Oatmeal gives another heads up that there is a wrecking ball incoming from above. Out of nowhere, Gas creates this giant wrecking ball on the chain and is trying to slam it down on Granolah. Well, Granolah intercepts it, and it explodes above him. But Granolah is perfectly fine. Again, Oatmeal giving some, battle advice, says that he is then now surrounded by projectiles, kind of looking like the knives again, but there's 46 of them around him. And Gas then shoots all of them towards him. And Oil and Mackie believe that they have won. But then as the smoke clears, Granolah caught every single one and tosses the knives to the ground. And he states to Gas that these tricks are not going to work anymore. So essentially, Gas's moves are not working, and Granolah has him on the ropes. And Vegeta and Goku are talking after Monado goes over to Goku. I assume that he's going to be healing him at this point. But Goku asks, how is Granolah holding up? And Vegeta says that he is as well as his opponent or better. And Goku says that he's not surprised. And then there's a whole bunch of punches and kicks going back and forth between Granolah and Gas. And Granolah just is, kicking. He kicks a shield and pushes him back. And then Gas then spawns is it a joust? A javelin? Joust?
Javelin.
Javelin. And pulls out a javelin and he's going to, throw it, but Granolah doesn't even give him an opportunity. Sprints right over to him, punches him right in the face, and launches him, and he smacks into a tree. And Oil and Mackie are surprised, well, especially Oil is surprised that Gas is getting beat. And Vegeta makes the remark that Gas only achieved his title of the strongest just a bit ago, and that Goku says that he can't make the most of his full power yet, just like Granolah did at first. Vegeta suspects that is the case. And back to fighting, we go see that Granolah now has a sword, and he's trying to use that sword, and he's just getting his ass kicked. He gets kicked up into the air, and then Vegeta makes a remark that the gap between them is evident. This is Granolah's last chance. And Goku asks, why is Gas sticking to just one move using those strange weapons? And Vegeta says that it's hard to say, but perhaps he gained that ability from the wish to become strongest. And Monado contradicts that, saying, no, Gas has always used those weapons to create things out of nothing. And Vegeta and Goku surprised that is the case. Gas creates more weapons. This time he creates like two circles, like rings, and on those rings there's like 4 blades on them, and he'll put his arms through those rings, and basically they're just going to be spinning saw blades as far as I'm concerned. And he charges Granolah, and Granolah stops him again, just holds him right in place, just kicks him in the stomach, completely just owning Gas at this point. Even to the point where Granolah is like, why do you rely solely on the arsenal that he has? And Mackie, I'm talking to Oil, says that she understands and that she believes that Gas wants to beat Granolah with his own strength and not just something that, was just kind of not earned. And Granolah asks Gas why he doesn't just use those new powers. And Mackie says it can't be that Gas can't wield the newfound power. He just doesn't want to. All right. I get it. Kind of respectable. And Granolah says that this is all you got. You're done for. And right at that moment, then Granolah or Gas uses a little bit of power, and he dodges a attack that Granolah tries to do right at his face. He puts his hand right in front of Granolah's face, and he just blasts the hell out of Granolah, surprising Goku and Vegeta, Mackie and Oil, and this launches Granolah back. And after that attack, Granolah gets up. Gas is kind of disappointed, probably that he had to actually even do that. And Granolah says, "I knew that you were holding back." And Gas says that that, quote, "I consider this a failure on my part. I had hoped to kill you with the technique I had honed." So, yeah, it makes sense. And Granolah now starts blasting with his rapid fire technique. And again, there's a pretty good distance between Granolah and Gas. And then all of a sudden, Gas instant transmissions right in front of Granolah, in which Goku makes a remark that it's instant transmission. Granolah is completely surprised, and Gas makes a remark, "Any abilities you have gained are now mine as well." And he punches Granolah right in the stomach and states that his power is far superior to his. And then he attacks him with a blast and blows Granolah flying backwards into the forest / on the side of the mountain. Vegeta and Goku again completely surprised by this, and Vegeta makes a remark that last attack looked like destruction. Same God of Destruction techniques that Vegeta has honed. So, yep, Gas can do that fun stuff as well. And Goku then says that Gas must have never needed those extra weapons. And Gas, as he's learning his new powers, makes a remark that he understands now. So he must understand what he just did there. Granolah bounces back up, flies into the air, rips off his jacket, so it's just his athletic gear, I should say, and his suspenders. And he's ready to continue to fight. He's got a lot more in him. And then he instant transmissions over to Gas. They start fighting, and essentially they just kind of go back and forth at this point between instant transmission and teleporting, and they kind of hit each other, of course, but we start to see that Granolah is doing this better. So when Vegeta and Goku are looking up at the sky and they see them doing this, Goku makes a joking remark. Well, we find it as a joke. Goku's really serious. He says, "Are they for real? They're both using instant transmission or transportation like it's nothing. And I struggled so hard to learn that move." So Goku's jealous, envious, and well, I get it. And they're fighting back and forth, but it just seems as though that Granolah is using the instant transmission better than what Gas is. And this is made clear by Vegeta. Since Gas is not familiar with how instant transmission works, and Granolah has had more time, he just hones it better. It also might be in part, it doesn't say anything here, but I wonder if, Granolah's race I wonder if that has anything to do with him being able to be as efficient with an instant transmission move, being able to, be precise with even his regular attacks. That's just something to ponder on. But Granolah, again, is fighting, punches Gas in the stomach, and then Gas knocks Granolah to the ground. And Goku makes a remark that, yeah, he is using it more accurately. And Vegeta says that he still stands a chance. And then the last image shows Granolah on the ground looking up at Gas, smiling, and Gas is in the air, kind of in a panic, looking down at Granolah, who is seemingly unharmed. And that's it. That's how the chapter ends. So, like I said, all action, all fighting for the most part, and just a couple key points to discuss. So,
yeah, this chapter was all action between Gas and Granolah. Technically, I guess the two strongest mortals in the universe right now. And yeah, it was high action. It was interesting that maybe because Granolah ate that sensu beans and now he was full powered, and I doubt, I don't know, maybe he also got the Sand's ability to be stronger after a near-death experience, so maybe that's why he's still holding his own. But I still think Gas is still holding back a lot, especially that panel where he basically blasted him to next week a couple times. Just went the Hakai thing.
Yeah.
And then also there's a page 2 where Granolah caught those wind blades that Gas got. Mitch, I hear a lot of people saying he did that in a UI fashion. Are you one of those people?
So I'm going to have to be honest with you. What are people saying? I did not hear this, but granted, I've been a little crazy with holidays. But what are people saying?
On page 26, when you see Granolah catch, I guess 26, 27, where Granolah catches the wind blades with his eyes closed.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were like, oh, that's a little UI fashion like that. So some people are like, did he get UI all of a sudden?
I don't think so. And just my first thought, and now this is based on my thought that these individuals, Granolah and Gas, are not able to get the ability of Ultra Instinct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, again, that's because that's a divine origin, but you can counter that and say they have, they have destruction abilities. The only thing I can say is that I really don't know. I really don't know how to structure my argument, because I'm like, we're seeing these destruction moves, but they're not the Hakai move that this is not the same move in which Beerus used to destroy Zamasu, and it's not it's just not how we've seen stuff get Hakai'd. There is no when Zamasu got killed, there was no explosion, right? And so I don't know if there's a inconsistency that has occurred since then with what Energy of Destruction does, but when you saw, and again, this is anime that I'm kind of referring to, so maybe the manga treats it differently, but when Topo, for example, was using Energy of Destruction and turning it to power, and he was destroying all them boulders and rocks of the arena. Those were just disintegrating into dust. So we haven't seen anyone actually Hakai. Even, if you want to talk about manga stuff, when Goku Hakai'd merged Zamasu, he wasn't exploding. He wasn't being it wasn't an explosion. He was slowly deteriorating to nothing. Not until he, portaled and grabbed Mai, and then Goku had to stop so Mai didn't get killed, and then he regenerated. But regardless, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think that this is UI. Now my counter is that this reminds me of when when Gohan fought Cell and caught the Destructo Discs. at least at the time being, yeah, I have to disagree with the community on that one, or at least one thing that I feel like if that was the case, they would focus on that more. At least when Gas used destruction, Vegeta acknowledged it. You know, if there was a panel where like Goku flinches, or like even if Goku doesn't say anything, they just show that Goku is like, you know, like what's the word I'm trying to get out of my mouth here? Acknowledge it. If Goku acknowledged that scene, I would believe that more. But no, I don't think that's UI.
Also, just jumping around, what the heck does Elect have that's one more urgent errand to handle? Like, that's where I was stuck on most of this chapter besides the fighting.
I don't know. Like, they have not given us anything that makes me think that Alec is anything like anything. Just he's just a bad guy, but it's not I'm trying to think. Okay, what's some things that have been established that he could be involved in? He could bring Frieza over.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm like, well, Frieza is going to be the fifth strongest person on that planet. Okay, so not a fear there. And of those five people, those four people ahead of him do not like him. So it's not like Frieza's going to be like he's going to be one side or the other. He's going to be nothing's going to be a benefit there, unless there's a deal brokered between Alec and Frieza. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's like, hey, Frieza, I can teach you how to be super strong with these Dragon Balls, and he can be the strongest in the universe, but he won't tell Frieza that his life will be cut to basically nothing. And then he's like, okay, I just got to live for 2 years, and then Frieza's dead, and all my opponents are dead. I don't know. That's something. Maybe there's another wish that's going to be made because these Dragon Balls don't have a cooldown period, it seems.
Which kind of makes him a little OP.
What do you mean?
Like, if they don't have a cooldown period, that's a little OP. At least like the Earth Dragon Balls turn to stone, scatter. But if you could just keep using these without them like turning to stone or scattering, that's kind of overpowered.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, especially since there's two of them. Yeah, they scatter themselves, but you got a radar and can fly around the Earth real quick, and bam, there you go. I don't know. Unless the third option is that wish, because we never heard the actual verbiage of the wish. You know what I mean? For all we know, Alec just made a wish to be the strong, make him and Gas the strongest in the universe.
True. That is true.
So, I mean, that's all I could think of. I mean, Alec has to fight, right? This is the main bad guy. Gas is not. Gas is a badass. Don't get me wrong, but like, Alec is a mastermind behind this.
Yeah, he's pulling all these strings that eventually he will have to fight. We just don't know when. And like you brought up Gas, and Gas wanting to win using his own skills, really respected that. Also, the page on 21 where he's fighting Granolah and basically has the Wolverine claws. If you were able to,
oh yeah, but I do see that. Yep.
So that was really cool, and I do like his ability a lot, like to manifest weapons and all of that. But when he's like, "Oh, you can't beat me with your own skills," and you see how pissed Gas Guy's like, "Man, now even if I win, I consider it a failure."
I mean, like what you said, I respect it. I mean, there is a sense of pride and learning your craft and fighting and winning the way in which you know best. I mean, when Vegeta flew off to go train on his own on planet Yardrat to fight Moro, that's what he said. He's like, I'm tired of magic, I'm tired of transformations, I'm tired of blah blah blah. And he went and honed his craft, and that's how he wanted to win. He didn't want to cheat and steal energy like what Moro did, and pretty good.
It's kind of funny too because Goku was basically getting stomped off screen. What happened to the old days where I guess I can't believe I'm calling Tournament of Power old days. The old days where you're getting stomped and you automatically just go into UI sign.
It's well, I don't want to say inconsistent. It's just you got to advance the plot is just how it is, and sometimes things don't match up with what's been established in the past, and you just hope that it makes sense, or at least what you're looking at is pretty good. But I mean, I'm happy to see that it's Granolah versus Gas. We've always just had to deal with Goku and Vegeta, and now they're just on the sideline watching these two super strong dudes just battle it out. So
for now, I mean, I still think I think it's going to be Goku versus Alec at the end.
Yeah, even though even though it shouldn't be, it's just no, it shouldn't be. I don't think so. The only thing that's unique about this arc is just that Bardock was involved.
Yeah,
that's it. In terms of Goku, he doesn't have anything that builds up this arc. He just fights. Vegeta got a brand new transformation, and Granolah is the one who's had the most character development. And it's kind of also a bummer too that Granola's not going to be anywhere after this arc ends. This guy has 3 years to live, and essentially when this arc ends, in which you informed me earlier that this arc is reported to end in 2022 at some point. So 3 years in the super universe he has to live, but as far as I'm concerned, he has about 8 months left.
Yeah. And I will pull, and it was officially confirmed too by Torotaro that this is ending in that the Granolah survival arc is reaching its climax and a new arc will begin in 2022, which is kind of crazy. It's like you think of the Moro arc, which was almost 2 years, and now this arc's about to be over. We don't know when in 2022. It could be after the movie. It could be at the end of 2022. But the fact that we still have no Frieza, which we've been saying for months, when is he showing up? We thought he was going to be like a central figure in this, and he might not. Dude, I'm starting to think he won't even show up in this arc, which I think would be a big disappointment.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think it. Yeah, I don't think he'll show up unless. No, I don't think he's showing up. Because let's say this arc goes until, let's just say August. I think that would be fair to say August because that's 8 months. I would think that they have at least 8 more chapters of stuff to do. Because people have to die. The heaters have to die. So do I think Gas and Granolah, or do I think Gas and Alec are going to die the same chapter? I don't think so. I wouldn't think so. I would think Gas is going to die within a few months, and then Alec comes afterwards. So it's like that already takes up 2 chapters. Now, somehow, I mean, we still have to learn of Alec's plan.
Yep.
So we'll learn about the plan, and then there's a chapter in which that plan will be enacted, or maybe it'll be built up on, and then the heroes here will face adversity, and then somehow they overcome it, and then that's just where we get to. So, I mean, like, that alone has to have at least 6 chapters. I think. I would think. But, because, I mean, we're talking, I forget, I feel like you did this research last month, but when did Granolah and Goku start fighting? 5 chapters ago? 6 chapters ago?
Goku and Granolah?
Yeah.
When
did that?
I can actually get that for you right.
So, I mean, just do me a favor. Since we're in chapter 79, go see what chapter 73 is like, or 74. Just tell me what's going on in that chapter.
Okay,
because
I think they fought a lot early, because 72 is when they get to Cerulean spot. Yeah, and that's when Goku and Vegeta are first getting. That's when Goku got blasted. He got sniped, and they already had to use the Sensu bead. And that was 72. And 72's date was May 20th, 2021.
7 months ago. 7 months ago is when this fight started. And you look back at the Moro arc, they had the introduction with the bandits, and then they went to New Namek. They fought for a few chapters, then they trained for a few chapters, and then they fought Moro again and again and again and again. So like this is like okay. If the Granolah side quest at the very beginning is like equivalent to the bandit saga when we first learned of Miras, when they're stealing gold and crap like that, then you had the New Namek and Moro. That's what this part is. I mean, because New Namek was crazy. You had Moro killing Namekians. You had Goku and Vegeta showing up, and they were fighting, getting stomped. They got stomped so hard that they had to, respawn 3 days later after a quick nap. And Moro was trying to find the Dragon Balls, and then Majin Buu with the Kaioshin comes around. They're fighting in space and fighting around and blah, 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 and then they get the hell out of Dodge. So the length of that, I assume, is the length of this fight. So we're going to have Alec's story is going to take place kind of like how Goku and Vegeta's training to be stronger than Moro. And then we'll have the finale, which will take a little bit, but I don't know. Talking about that, this has to go till December. You need more chapters than that.
You do.
You're going to have 2 or 3 chapters of training. You can't just have 4 chapters of fighting. But I don't know. I've seen them do crazier things, like give Moro a sense of being. So.
But the reason some other people think that it's going to actually end in summertime, which is a good way to segue, is because of Dragon Ball Super Super Hero. Jump Festa happened last weekend. For those who don't know, Jump Festa, it's a huge, basically, anime thing where they give updates on anime stuff. And there's a whole bunch of anime updates, but we're going to focus on the Dragon Ball. Second trailer came out for Dragon Ball Super Super Hero. Dragon Ball fans were going crazy because Gohan was prominently in this trailer at the end. The poster came out for Dragon Ball Super Super Hero. Gohan's right in the middle doing the Masenko. You got Piccolo, Special Beam Cannon, Goku, Kamehameha, Vegeta, Gallic Gun, Gamma 1 and 2. You got Pan and some other people there. We also got a release date, and it's coming out in Japan April 22nd. That is when Dragon Ball Super Super Hero is coming out. Mitch, you saw the trailer. So what do you think about it coming out April 22nd? And let's just Gohan front and center. It's looking like Gohan is going to be the main character of this movie, to our knowledge. What do you think?
Well, I'm glad that, Gohan's actually going to finally get some, acknowledgement, as we've all been requesting for, I don't know, feels like 30 years. JK. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited to actually see Gohan take control and, be front and center. My issue, though, is that I don't want to get my hopes up until I see it. Because take the movie, Wrath of the Dragon, take Hirudegan's movie. We had Trunks and Tapion. We had, their story was the central figure of that entire story, about Trunks befriending him and Hirudegan escaping, blah, blah, blah. And that's how Trunks gets his sword. That's how that entire movie was until the very last second when Trunks cuts the tail off of Hirudegan. You're thinking that he's going to deal with the the deciding blow to kill Hirudegan, and Goku says, "No, Trunks, this is my monster." Goes Super Saiyan 3, Super Dragon fists him right in the face. Like, I don't think I've recalled ever seeing a film completely ditch what it had worked on for the first hour and 15 minutes so fast for anything they could figure out to finish the movie. Like, that's where I'm nervous here. We're talking about the Red Ribbon Army created two androids, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, and they're trying to seek revenge. Goku beat the Red Ribbon Army whenever he was a kid. Essentially, Gohan beat the Red Ribbon Army whenever he defeated Cell. And now here they are again, being ran by new people. And we got two new androids who are strong as shit. Now, why are these androids super strong? I don't know. Power levels don't mean anything. If you're going to tell me that Goku cannot turn Super Saiyan Blue for some reason to fight two androids and win, then I don't even know.
Well, I don't think he's going to be on world for this one, because if you remember the first, gosh, it's almost going to make Goku and Vegeta Captain Marvel-esque, shout out to the MCU, where they're off world, because that first trailer, we got a glimpse of him training on Beerus's planet with who everyone's looks like it's going to be Broly. So maybe they're not on the planet for this one.
I do have the trailer pulled up here, and I was looking at this, trying to, just run it back again. And I'm trying to get to it one more time, and I wonder if Goku is on, like, this one scene. I can't tell if he's on Namek or if he's on a different planet with, like, Broly, but on the, where is it here? I'm looking at, it's the 29-second mark from this 57-second video on YouTube from Kami. That was released for trailer 2. And Goku is fighting or training at something, and the grass color is not, it's like purple grass. And I'm trying to think of, like, what planet has purple grass. And it might be somewhere on Earth, but it seems like that has to be a different planet. So, or no, that might be Beerus's planet. That's probably where they're at.
Yep.
Because the purple trees in the back. So, yeah, you might be right. Goku and Vegeta might strictly just be over and training with Beerus and Whis, which is kind of nice to know that they're still doing that, because this movie is supposedly taking place 3 years after the 28th World Martial Arts Tournament, because Pan is in it, like, at the age of 3. So this obviously then goes to show that this will take place afterwards, if you know what I mean.
No, definitely after Granolah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting because they have their date April 22nd, 2022. So we'll be interested to see when we get an English date. The last movie that came out was Dragonball Super Broly. And when that movie came out, it was, because I just had it up. It came out in December 13th, 14th in Japan, December 14th in Japan, and then the United States, we got it on January 16th. So I'm hoping then that if this movie is coming out February 22nd, then we in the States could get it in April 22nd, then we in the States get it May 2022. Hopefully.
Have they announced anything about this movie being canon like what they did with Broly?
I don't think all they announced that this is after Granolah, and it's supposed to be canon. I think now with the super movies, they're all canon.
Gotcha.
So this will be.
They need to get They really need to get ahead. And what I mean by that is that super manga and anime is behind the 28th World Martial Arts Tournament. And I know, we all know that these, I don't, they have retcon shit in the past, but I can't imagine that they completely do away with that tournament and that what ended at Z. Because, like, it's great and all watching, the Tournament of Power. It's great knowing Zamasu, Tournament of Power, Moro, and now Gas and Granolah. But we know these people are going to live, or at least they're going to die, and then they're going to come right back. Mm-hmm. And they need to get past that so I can be like, okay, maybe somebody will get killed off permanently. But now that there's going to be a movie that takes place 3 years after the 28th, and I see my characters in it, it's like, okay, whatever happens beforehand, I know it's not. Yeah, it's just not as. I don't know how to describe it.
It's not as impactful. It's like one of those things, like where if a movie gets announced, that person's not going to die in a previous movie. It's one of those things too, of like the MCU. Oh, we know so and so is signed on for 3 more movies. We know they're not dying anytime soon.
Correct.
So it's like, it's the same thing like that. Like, we know Goku and Vegeta and is all peaceful in this movie, so we know it's going to end well some way in the Granolah arc. They really copped out in Moro's arc because I thought Mira should have stayed dead, but they just brought him back with mortal powers. I thought that was stupid. But I'm excited for the movie. I just hope we get it a month after them. We haven't had an English trailer yet, so we don't even. Hopefully, they're starting to dubbing that. And it's looking like Piccolo, Gohan, Pan are all going to be front and center in this movie. And Red Ribbon Army coming back. How do you feel about those? That rumor I told you earlier that they're thinking they're going to have a new updated model of Cell, and they're going to continue the super movie trend of bringing back old villains somehow. Besides Beerus.
When's BoJack coming then? When are we going to destroy all of the lower Supreme Kai planets and make them relevant again? Because I miss King Kai, but he's pointless as crap. So
I know, and King Kai's my guy too. Goku wouldn't have a whole bunch of things without him.
Who knows? I mean, the movies were clever. They were good. Just they should have been arcs, but they weren't.
Yeah, which is well too. But speaking of an anime, probably the true Dragon Ball anime, Dragon Ball Heroes just ended their another arc. Like, it's kind of crazy. We've been waiting for Super was done March 30th, 2018, and Dragon Ball Heroes has ended like 2-3 arcs since then.
Yep. Yeah, they just pumped that out. Have no problem with that, and it would never get an anime again. Doesn't make sense, though.
But Heroes is already announced, hey, we're about to start our next arc.
It's so bass-ackwards, man. It really is. It's so flip-flopped. It doesn't make sense.
I think it's also crazy, too. Like, if it was like side people who voice these characters in Heroes, I'd be like, all right, whatever. But it's still the same people who are voicing them. Which is like, when's the, like, what do you...
Maybe they do it just to keep those people like on payroll. Maybe they're just like, hey, we're not going to do an anime probably until 2045. So, you guys need paychecks. You've done wonders for us. So we're just going to pull out this promotional anime crap. That's, it's kind of whatever. We have all these ideas in a hat, and we're just going to pull it out, draw it, make some voiceover dubs, and then we'll do the same thing tomorrow. It's like, it's all impromptu. That's what I think. That's what I think they do with this anime. It's just whatever the Magic 8 Ball tells them to do that day.
It's crazy.
And then they just be like, okay, voice act, put lines into moving mouth of character. Thank you.
It's wild, but can't wait for that to start in 2022. Also, Dragon Ball Games Battle Tour. They did this year where they just have a day where they give big updates on all the games. It's going to be happening February 18th and 19th, and then February 19th and 20th in Japan and the United States. Maybe I'm not. Well, first let me do the definite stuff. There'll be definitely stuff on Dragon Ball Fighters, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, and all of that. Maybe you get a Xenoverse 3 reveal since it'll be 2022, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the one who says it's definitely going to happen because I don't want to look like an idiot. But you're going to see some Dragon Ball Fighters and Xenoverse 2. Mitch, I'm going to be honest, man. I would be surprised if Moro's the next DLC character coming in one of these games.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be Moro, obviously. So, I mean, or would they be smart and just put Moro in Xenoverse 3,
I think
make
you
that a
should.
selling point for the game to get sales to go up? Because I won't lie, if you're going to, if Xenoverse 3 is in the works for the next couple of years, if you're going to put Moro in, then you better put gas in Alec and the heaters and you don't want to just create DLC, just put all these people in there,
Mm-hmm.
unless that's how you just that's your method towards making money. If you want to create Xenoverse 3, you have to figure out something that's going to draw sales with the new story. And Fu is going to be able to do that, and all of them, Mira and Toa, blah, blah, blah. But, something has to be added. So,
You were also right about Dragon Ball Time Breakers. How, from what I've seen, that game's not going to be like a full $60. It's going to be a lot cheaper. How we talked about last month, how that game came out of nowhere and it's going to be connected to the Xenoverse like world and all of that. But it's going to be a lot cheaper, which means I feel like they just threw this game out as a stopgap to get ready for like 2022, and they're going to release a whole bunch of Dragon Ball stuff.
yeah, it's just, there's no way that it's $60. It's going to be glorified DLC in game form. Honestly, it would be best if they just probably added it as Xenoverse DLC.
Instead of making it a whole. Yeah, but they want to make it a game, make you download it digitally or buy. I don't even know if they'll have a disc, but
That's the thing that grinds my gears right now. Just thinking about it. I'm going to connect 2 points that you and I just talked. They don't want to put out Xenoverse 3, which would drive huge revenue sales, but they have absolutely no problem putting out friggin' a game where you're playing hide and seek with Dragon Ball slapped on as the title. That it should be DLC. All this new crap that keeps coming out for Xenoverse 2 should be the basis for a new game for Xenoverse 3.
I agree. I agree. But they're like,
Weird.
they're just like, hey, we're gonna drop this game and we're gonna talk about stuff in 2022. We got a movie coming out in 2022. The movie is already gonna get hyped because people Gohan. And now with the second trailer, it's looking like that whole movie is gonna be in that like 3D style from the two trailers. Are you liking that style?
Mm, what I'm nervous about is that, I liked what Broly looked like.
Yes.
I did. My only issue with Broly, the movie, was some of the fight scenes with Gogeta
Mhm.
and Broly. It was just hard to keep track of because they're going in and out of dimensions, and it's really quick. And the camera, sometimes they put it up close to make it look faster. It's like shaky. It I don't want to say it's like shaky cam, but like that was the only drawback. Sometimes I wanted the camera to be focused in one section. Let me look at what's going on. I didn't want the camera to actually be moving as much as what it did. But overall, I don't really have any true complaints. It was all pretty fantastic. But now, this movie is going to be kind of in this 3D animated. format, and we've, at least that I can recall, we've never seen something like that in a media format. So I don't know whether I want to be excited or if I want to be like, okay, you got one chance. You know what I mean?
Fair enough, fair enough. Mitch, anything else you wanted to hit on before we're basically that's the end of year, let's ending the year of Dragon Ball. And what do you want? Like, what's one thing you want in 2022?
The same thing I asked for in 2021. I want an anime announcement. same same thing I asked for in 20, going into 2020 minus a pandemic. It's just I wanted an anime announcement. So um, same thing I wanted to. We're just going to keep going back until the anime got cut off there. Yeah.
Remember, the anime was supposed to come back in 2019.
Well, those people were wrong. Sorry, Geekdom. I appreciate all your help towards the community, but that prediction was incorrect. So, but no, I just want to keep doing this, man. I just want to keep doing what I love, keep talking, and talk about Dragon Ball best of my ability. But
I hope for 2022, I do hope that we get an anime announcement, but just for the pod, I hope the anime announcement comes on February 20th, 2022.
I want it to come the day that we do a podcast.
You don't want it to come on Coop's birthday?
Okay, that would be cool. But like it would be nice if because sometimes as the listeners, no, we do try to do these on the 20th, but just due to mostly it's
life,
just busy schedule just for myself, family coming into town, or just trying to take care of Cooper, and we would just record it too late in the evening or whatnot. But I would love if the night in which we would record a podcast, that would be the night in which they would announce it. So yeah, maybe on the 20th or the 21st or 22nd and of the month, and then you can get our raw take on it, and not something that has kind of sunk in or ideas have come up or whatnot.
I would hope so. I mean, it's happened on other podcasts before, so let's have raw reactions on a Dragon Ball podcast. Mitch, anything else?
For the listeners, make sure you tune in here in the next week or so, where the L7C is going to do a end of year podcast. Last year we did one. Martin, did you do two with the other people?
Yeah, so I recorded. We recorded as a group. Most of us were able to come at the same time, and then the others who didn't, I think it was Justin and Poe at that time, recorded with them and then added it on to the episode. So the goal is to have mostly everyone there, so that if mostly everyone is there, then we would actually live stream the end of year podcast to Twitch and YouTube. We'll decide when we get to that point.
Yep. So yeah, make sure that you guys have your notifications turned on, and you guys are staying up to date with us as much as possible, and get ready for that episode, because as it stands right now, until I get up and running and actually figure out something else to talk about, that's the other podcast in which you will hear me in. So that is not Dragon Ball related. So make sure you tune in, catch the other people that make the L7C great, see what else they offer, and just get a feel for them. They're great as well. So,
and with that being said, thank you everyone for listening to L7C podcast. Make sure you're on the lookout for the end of year one. If you didn't listen to our first end of year one, you definitely should, because it was a great time. So hopefully the second one is just as well. And with that being said, this is the L7C. Take care.
Yep. Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.